Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Are from Group 3, and right now we would like to present our novel. And our novel, the title of our novel is No.1 Ladies Detective Agency. So, in this moment, we would like to present 16 chapter of this novel. With the first chapter to be explained and tell by myself. Okay, sorry for the member of our group consists of me, Rita Mistia, Syarifah Rahmi, Nabila Putri, and then Maulida Salsa. So move to the first chapter of our novel. Okay, in this first chapter, this is an introduction to the main character, Mara Motsue, who is a detective who managed to establish in a large and famous detective agency in Africa. The agency stands in the middle of the forest that has many large trees. In this chapter, there is a case where there is a client named Mama Utsi, who is a rich man, who is a rich woman and lives alone because his mother has died when she was 17, and then her father has gone nowhere since he was in his mother womb. And then one day there was a man who knocked on Mama Uchi's house, and then he said that I'm your real father. But Mama Uchi don't want to believe at that part, and then Mama Uchi say to the man, if you're really my father, would you what is uh, my mother's name? And then the man answered correctly. After that, Mama Lucy believed and then led the man to live in her big house. But this man, day by day, really made Mama Lucy annoyed by his character because this man always sleep and eat without doing anything in that house. And then Mama Lucy said to Mama Lucy that is it real that he is my father? I want to know. And then Mama Lucy think that she has to be a doctor. And then after that, after Maramutsu to be a doctor, Maramutsu come to uh, Mamotsu's house and then find out that there is a man who still sit and eat with enjoying the view in that house. And then Maramotsu say to the man that Mamotsu is in the hospital and she is really need much blood right now. And then Maramotsu also said that because you are a real father of Mamotsu, you have to give your much of your blood to her. But this man say that I cannot do that things because I'm not her real father. I cannot give my blood to her. And then that's all about the case. And after that, Mara Motsui asked the man for leaving the house of Mama Lucy. So that's all about the chapter one. For the next chapter will be explained by Syarifah Rahmi.
Right, so the next chapter is about all those years ago. This chapter explained about the real father from Ramuswe. His name is Obed Ramuswe. Obed Ramuswe is a farmer in Africa, specifically in Botswana, which in Obed Ramuswe is grow up over there. So, because of Obed Ramuswe is a farmer, he has many land, but because of at the time the war happened, many colonialism that take their land and then broke many land, and then they order to um work that society from Botswana to their men actually, but because of the men make many land, make many tree, and give many pollution to their country. So because of that, many of tree is broken because of the pollution. So and then society from Botswana country that wanna work together to keep their country, although they have different background, different color of their skin, they also wanna keep their city to work together to keep and save their city because of they love their city. So that's all from chapter 2. The next will explain by Maulida Salsa.
Okay, in chapter 3 of the #1 Ladies Detective Agency is titled Lesson About Boys and God and is narrated in the third person point of view. The chapter describes Maramutswe's early life and her experiences with Obed Ramuswe's cousin. The narrative then follows Maramutswe through her investigation and resolution of several cases, including a missing husband and a suspicious employee of an old. The chapter also highlights the traditional build of Maramutswe and the well-appointed nature of her detective agency, despite its small size and limited resources. So that's all from chapter 3. The next chapter will be explained by Nabila.
Okay, I will explain about chapter 4, living with the cousin and the cousin husband. So, Precious Ramotswe, a young girl from Botswana, left school at 16. Her father wanted her to stay and continue her education, but she was bored with her life in Mochudi and want to do something more. So, her father suggested her to visit her cousin in different town where she could do more opportunities and excitement. Then Precious moved to her cousin's house and started working in the office at the bus company. She quickly proved herself to be efficient and diligent, and she making she made a suggestion to improve the office operation. However, she soon discovered that there was a discrepancy in the full bill, which she investigated and found to be due to the theft. She reported this to her cousin husband, who was initially unwilling to believe it, but eventually confirmed the theft. Perseus continued to work in the office and eventually met a man named Note Mokoti at the bus when she came back to Mochudi. So, Note Mokoti is a musician who played in a band at the President Hotel. He started dating and then Note proposed to the Precious and asking her to marry him. Precious was unsure but agreed, thinking that she could change Notemokati to be better. But their relationship turned out to be abuse. Note would often hit Precious and force her to do things that she didn't want to do. So Precious continued to see him feeling trapped and unable to live. Then Precious' father found out about the abuse, and then he told her to she didn't have to marry anyone that she didn't want to, but Precious was still drawn to Note and want to be with him, and then she felt ashamed of her situation, but she was addicted to the attention and pleasure that Note gave her. Then they married, and after a few months Note still didn't change. They still hate Precious. So because she can hold anymore, she ran away to her uh, village in Machudi to live with her father. So for the next chapter, we'll explain by Tia.
Okay, we move for the chapter 5. Okay, for this chapter tells the beginning of the establishment of the Maramutsue Detective Agency, which is just on the side of a busy road, which on the side on the busy road, in the hope that people will see his agency, her agency. So there was a woman who came as the first client of Maramutsue. Her name is Mamalapsi. This woman said that her husband had been missing for days, even though he was a good husband. Only recently today, her husband often went to church and seemed to follow a cult. You know, cult is something like we call it in Indonesia as aliran sesat. And then hearing the story from Mama Lati, Maramuse moved to the church and found the pastor. Then she interrogated the pastor and found out that Malati husbands follow a code that required baptism in a really fast and also in a really fast river. But due to an accident, Mamalati, Mamalati's husband was washed away and eaten by crocodiles. And then why we know that Mamalati's husband already eaten by the crocodile, it's because Maramotse found a big crocodile and Maramotse doing an abdominal surgery. And after that, Maramotse got Mamamote's husband ring and watch. So we can conclude that Mamamote's husband already died because had been eaten by the crocodile. So that's all about the case of the chapter 5. Move to the next chapter will be explained by Syarifah Rahmi.
Right. So chapter 6 will explain by myself. It's talking about a boy. This boy is very smart and kind. So he has a good family and also very close with his grandmother. He and his family often to dinner, and then after dinner, he always listened to new story from his grandmother, and which is fable, history, or another story. So because of she often to listen to the story from his grandmother, he know many story. So until once upon a time, this boy is playing around his house, and then came the truck from outside, and then there is a man that ordered the boy to go on the truck. Actually, the boy think this is a good man, so he just go up to the truck, and then on the truck, this man make boy feel comfortable by explain about by telling story about cough and cold. But actually, this boy is really remember that the story is not like the man say, until this boy say, no, uncle, it's not the true story. And then because of that things make the man angry to the boy, and then he feel that he wanna hurt this boy. But actually, this boy say and feel nervous, don't, uncle. I think you is a good boy. And then this man is actually no, and remember that he is not a bad boy. He actually the good boy, a good man, because of the boy judge him as a good boy. Why he should hurt the boy that without mistake. Because of that, he ordered the boy to get out from the truck and think and sit and then smoke and then think what should he wanna do after this action. So the next chapter will explain by Maulida Salsa.
Okay, in chapter 7, as we can see, there is Maramotsue and her assistant. Her name is Mama Kutsi, and then Mr. GLB Matsukani. And the last picture is a missing. So in this chapter, Maramotsue deals with the mail and sort through information regarding a missing. She realized that she couldn't have done anything differently in the Malatsi case, and dictated a report and a bill to Mama Kutsi, who types them out and sends them via mail. The agency received very little post itself, except for a letter from someone asking for Maramutsue's assistance in locating their missing son. Maramutsue and Mamakutsi discuss the case and decide there isn't much they can do for the man. Mamakutsi writes a reply letter to send to the center. Mr. GLB Machukin, who is a mechanic and a friend of Maramutsue, finds a bag containing a human bone While servicing a van, Maramotsue believes that the bond may be connected to a missing. And she and Mr. Matsukuni begin investigating the case. The chapter ends with the discovery the boy has been kidnapped and murdered, and Maramotsue and Mr. Matsukuni start searching for the boy killers. That's all from chapter 7. The next chapter will be explained by Nabila Putri.
Okay, I will explain chapter 8, a conversation with Mr. JLB Matekoni. So, the No.1 Ladies Detective Agency was struggling financially after its first month. Maramotsue, the owner, had three paying clients and two who received advice but didn't pay. So she has to pay her secretary 500 pula, so which means the agency was losing their pula. Mara Moswe was worried about how long she could continue at a loss. Then she thought about her friends, Mr. JLB Matakoni, who owned a successful garage and how he managed to stay profitable. Then Maramuswe visited Mr. Matekoni at his garage where they discussed about challenging of running a business. Then Mr. Matekoni emphasized that the high cost of staff, including the tax and the insurance, Maramotswe mentioned her own financial struggles and how she unsure if she continue as a detective. And then Mr. Matekoni suggested to her to find a find a wealthy client that who could afford her service. Then the conversation turned to a letter Maramotswe that received about a missing boy. She felt sorry for Boy's father, who was desperate for help. Mr. JLB Matekoni revealed that he believed the boy was dead, taken by the witch doctor. Maramoswe was shocked and sad about this possibility. Then later that night, when Maramoswe went to the bed, she woke up by a power cut. Then she tried to turn on the light, but it didn't work. Then she stepped out to the dark yard when she heard someone whisper her name. Then she backed away slowly and returned to her kitchen and locking the door. The electricity came back on, and then she felt relieved, but she shocked by the experience. So the next chapter will explain by Tia.
Okay, for chapter 9, the title of this chapter is The Boyfriend. In this chapter, a father named Mr. Jack wants to investigate where his daughter light goes every night. Maramoto gladly accepts the case. After further investigation, there is something that makes Maramoto think that Jane, the daughter of Mr. Jack, has a boyfriend. Until one day, Maramoto follows where Jane went. After getting news that the father saw his daughter holding two cinema tickets, then came Maramotsue in the cinema. After going undercover with Maramotsue, Maramotsue discovered that Jane went to the movies with her boyfriend, and that what made Jane rarely at home. So her father was suspicious, and then that's how the case ended about the father who suspicious, but the father who always feels suspicious of two Karwan and only doctor. For the next chapter will be explained by Syarifah Rahmi.
Right, so the next chapter is about Muhammad's sweet things about the land while driving her tiny van to Francis Town. So Maramuswe drives the van calmly, looking around the road, enjoying the beauty of her hometown. Exactly, and as you can see in that picture, it's a really comfortable place. And then the birds chirping, the gentle breeze blowing, and the leaves falling. Sometimes she always feel that there is a place that more comfortable than Frosty's Town, and also the journey to go to the Francis Town. And then she also think that she cannot buy this comfortable area, this comfortable feel, uh, although from this money, from that money that she produced. So the next chapter will explain by Maulida Salsa.
In chapter 11, Maramotsui and Mr. GLB Mantegani work together to locate the car's owner without involving the police. They find the car's serial number at Mawani's yard and then travel to King to identify the owner using a copy of Johannesburg Peaceables. The story highlights themes of loyalty, resourcefulness, trust, and determination, while also showcasing Botswana culture. Overall, the chapter introduced an intriguing mystery involving identity theft and illegal smuggling of vehicles across borders within a culturally rich setting. The next chapter will be explained by Nabila.
Alright, I'll be explain about chapter 12, Maramutsu House in Zebra Drive. So Maramutsu lived in a house built in 1968 on a corner lot in a growing town. Despite some littering and trash issues, she was fiercely proud of her home, feeling fortunate to have bought it before house price skyrocketed. The yacht was large with trees and sharp, providing shade and resilience during bad rains. Her favorite spot was the veranda, where she sat in the morning and the evening, surrounded by elephant ear and ferns. And Mara's Sway display her special china, including a Queen Elizabeth II teacup and a commemoration plate featuring Sir Sakama on the mantelpiece, and then the photograph of her father when his 60th birthday held a special place in her heart. And then the kitchen was cheerful with the polished cement floor, keep shining by her maid Rose, and we worked hard to support her for children despite the challenges they face. And then the next chapter will explain by Tia.
Okay, for chapter 13, and this chapter tells about Maramutsu's married life. Maramutsu went through a divorce with her husband because of his temperament and abusiveness. To Maramutsu proposed that he wants a happy married life and having a doctor like the picture we can see, but the relative turned around. One day, Aaron, Maramutsu's friend, who has long loved her, or Maramutsu, invites Maramutsu to talk over tea. It was there that Aaron confessed his love for Maramutsu, but because of the trauma that Maramutsu had, and because of that, Maramutsu refused and also don't want in any relationship like before. So Aaron feels really heartbroken and sad because his love is being refused by Marahutri. So that's the end of the chapter 13. That's not long chapter because it is contain not many words in chapter 13. Next, for the chapter 14 will be explained by Jude.
Right, so the next chapter is explain about a handsome man. Within once upon a time, there is a customer. Her name is Alice Busang. She go to Maramotsue and consult about her problem. He said that he feel very uncomfortable about the action from her husband because she think her husband is cheating on her and maybe play with another woman, and then she wanna Maramoto's way to identify this problem actually, and then Maramoto's way asked to Alice what is her husband habit, and then Alice said that her husband sometimes go to the bar, and as you know, the men go to bar usually very close with many women. Until Mara Muswig go to the bar, the the handsome man go over there, and then yeah, she just need a little time to feel close with the husband, and then sit together close and speak many a story, and then until the husband take a picture, take a selfie picture for take a selfie picture between Maramaswe and that man, and then yeah, uh, and then after that, Maramaswe never say this um this method that she used to know what is the man do behind the Alice, but actually Alice looked at her husband's phone that there is selfie photo from Mara Maswe and her husband that actually make Alice angry, and then think this Mara Maswe has insult her actually because of she is the woman whoever close with her husband. And then yeah, Alice Busang go to Mara Maswe, and then insult him, insult her, and angry to angry to Maramutswe because of yeah, Maramutswe was cheating with her husband, and then that problem is felt to Maramutswe and cannot be finished. So that's all from this chapter. Like next chapter will explain my chapter.
In chapter 15, revolves around the discovery made by Mr. G.L.B. Matikuni, the agency's mechanic and a close friend of the protagonist, Mara Matsui. In this chapter, Mr. Matikuni stumbles upon an unexpected find while working on a car in his jury. He discovers a hidden compartment that contains valuable documents and items, which he believes could be important evidence in a case he is currently investigating. Mr. Mataconi shares his discovery with Marmotswe, who is intrigued by the potential significance of the find. Together, they decide to delve deeper into the case and uncover more about its origins and implications. As they begin to investigate further, they learn that the documents are related to a long-standing family feud involving property rights and inheritance dispute within a prominent local family. The discovery sparked renewed interest in resolving these long-standing issues and bring forth all rivalries and secrets that have been buried for years. So that's all from chapter 15. The last chapter will be explained by Nabila.
Alright, I will explain about chapter 16, the cutting of fingers and snakes. So, Maramotsue, a detective, was approached by Hector, a factory owner who was disputing a claim for compensation from an employee named Moretzi. Moretzi claimed that he lost a finger in an accident at Hector factory. But Hector believed that the man was trying to cheat him. Mara Moswe agreed to investigate, and then she came back to her office. She began by contacting insurance companies to see if they met a similar information about similar case. She discovered that Morrissey had made a similar claim 2 years earlier, and she suspected that he was trying to scam Hector. Then, meanwhile, Maramutsui had a close call with a snake while driving to Mahalapi. She stopped her friend because she saw a snake under the hood, and a man who was passing by helped her to remove the snake. She then continued her journey to Mahalapi, where she met with Mr. Mapotswain and prepared to confront Morrissey about his fraudulent claim. And then Maramutsui decided to meet with Morrissey attorney, Mr. Jameson Mapotswain, to discuss the case. She found that him to be a bit cruel but willing to talk. He told her that Moretzi was a busy man and would be late, but they could discuss the detail of the case. As they talked, noticed that Mr. Mapotswain seemed to be hiding something. She asked him about his work schedule, and he became defensive, and they saying he worked every day including Saturday and Sunday sometimes. Mara was concerned that he was trying to hide something and decided to keep a close eyes on him. Then when Moritzi came, they talked together, and Mara Mutsui know that Moritzi tried to trick Hector to get a money from the Hector. So uh is this the ending of this chapter, and the last chapter of this novel.
And then, yeah, I am Syarifah Rahmi and Nabila Putri and Rita Mistia. And then the last member of this group is Maulida Salsa. I say thank you for your attention. And we close by saying Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wabarakatuh.